Calgary Police Service continues to investigate a break-in that occurred at a Calgary mall in early November and are releasing CCTV footage of the vehicle involved. Just before 4 a.m. on Monday, November 5th, 2012, CPS responded to numerous intrusion alarms activated at Market Mall, located in the 3600 block of Shaganappi Trail Northwest. The search of the mall's exterior determined that a vehicle was responsible for creating an entry point through the main north entrance to the shopping center, causing significant structural damage. Suspects then broke into Jewels by Maxime's, taking a number of high-end watches believed to have a total value of more than $100,000. There were no reports of injuries. It was determined that a white sport utility vehicle was involved. Thanks to information from the public, a white Dodge Journey believed to be involved, or the vehicle involved, was located in nearby community of Varsity. It is believed that 2 suspects were involved in this incident. However, investigators have not been able to develop suspect descriptions based on the CCTV footage available. Investigators are hoping people may have information of the actions of the vehicle used by the suspects before or after the incident. The vehicle has Alberta license plate BBM 5915 and was stolen during a break-in at a home in Rocky Ridge sometime between Monday, October 29th and Tuesday, October 30th in the overnight. The CPS is releasing CCTV footage of the vehicle entering and leaving the mall, which I believe you all have. Investigators are also releasing a stock photo of a white 2010 Dodge Journey, the same year and model as the one that was stolen and used in the offense. Based on the information from the public, at this point it is believed that the Dodge Journey may have been in the area of Northmount Drive and 14th Street Northwest on the evening of Saturday, November 3rd. The vehicle may have met up with a whiter gray Dodge Caravan and a black truck that were seen leaving the area. And obviously there are photos and videos accompanying the media release, so I'll answer whatever questions I can at this time from you guys.
You guys have come up with a little bit more information as far as what was taken during the break-in. I guess can you speak at all to whether this appears to have been targeted towards those high-end watches, or was it, did they leave everything else sort of in place? Can you go into more specifics on what was taken?
I don't want to make any assumptions as to what they were thinking at the time. Based on investigation so far, I do believe that the watches were the target. However, I can't really comment as to the motives or what the actual offenders were thinking at the time.
Just to build on that, how did you guys get to the $100,000 figure?
It is over $100,000 figure. We are getting the inventory from the jewelry store. The jewelry store actually does keep a phenomenal inventory as to what stock they have. It did take a little bit longer because they do have different locations throughout the city, so they had to see what was at each location. So at this point, it is over $100,000 worth of stolen watches.
How many watches were actually taken?
I don't have the exact number at this point. I believe it was just over 50 watches that were taken at this point.
Is surveillance footage both from the mall and the store?
The surveillance video that we've released today is just from the mall. It only shows the vehicle entering and exiting. The CCTV video from inside the store, it is quite dark. It only shows 2 individuals going inside, and there isn't anything to be able to actually obtain a suspect description from the video.
Have you been able to link any of the gray or white Dodge Caravan or the black truck with any other crimes in the area? And what do you make of 3 stolen vehicles meeting in one location?
At this point, we're not sure, obviously, if the other vehicles are stolen. There obviously is that likeliness. However, we have no information at that point whether they were stolen or not. More, it's the fact of the vehicle. We believe this is the vehicle that was involved that was seen on November 3rd, which leads us to believe that based on the fact that the vehicle was taken on the 29th or the 30th, it was being operated for 5 days. So we are hoping that someone over those 5 days was able to see that vehicle and maybe get a little bit better description of who was in it. So,
what, if any, forensic evidence or stolen property did you find in the white vehicle at Varsity?
Our forensic crime scene did attend both the scene and they did process the car. I believe they seized over 50 exhibits between both. And they are looking at any forensics that they can find. They're still processing to see if there's any DNA or anything like that that can be taken from any of the things or any of the exhibits that we're seeing, both at the vehicle and in the store. There were some jewelry there were some high-end watches, I apologize, that were located inside the vehicle, and those are going to be returned to the owner once we're able to process them for any potential evidence.
Have you ruled out that this is an inside job as you continue to hunt for suspects? Is that ruled out?
At this point, obviously, we look at all avenues of investigation, but there's nothing that's come to this point that would lead us to believe that that would be the case.
You mentioned that the footage inside of the store was pretty dark and muddy, but is there anything else you can say about what that scene looked like once they were inside of the store?
There's quite a bit of damage. The vehicle was used to break through the security gate, so you can assume just the amount of impact that would have led to and the amount of damage it was caused inside the store. I don't have the exact figure of how much damage was caused inside the store, but I know from the video that you guys were able to obtain that day from the actual scene that it is quite chaotic. The amount of damage actually done inside. So
It's maybe more of a curiosity than more than anything, but as far as inside the mall, we're talking about the surveillance inside the store. We have the one angle. Is there any other angles that would have shown that crash, the vehicle crashing through?
we have looked at all the angles that were available from the mall, and unfortunately none of the cameras did directly point at the jewels by Maxime during their circulation, and that was the only video from the mall that showed anything to do with this offense.
Johnny come lately, but can you say and spell your name?
Darren Smith, D-A-R-R-E-N, and last name Smith, generic spelling.
And your title with the force?
Constable.
Are you able to see how many watches were, you said some were recovered from inside the vehicle?
Yes.
How many?
I don't know exactly how many watches were recovered from inside the vehicle. Our forensic crime scene unit did all the exhibits. I believe they were under 10 though, that were actually recovered. So.
Is there anything you can tell us about the brands of the watches? Something that the public could spot?
At this point, we're not going to release the actual brand names. However, I can tell you that they're very high-end brands. They would not be your typical brands that would be found in your local watch shop. So we are looking at the public to, if they find high-end watches that may be lower price or maybe a deal that's too good to be true, to definitely contact us, and that might be able to help us out in our investigation.
You guys been able to use much as far as say the online, whether it be GG, that kind of thing? You guys been able to strike up any tips in that regard?
At this point, no. We are looking at obviously GG and the other sites that do sell property online. However, at this point, we haven't been able to locate any of the watches or get develop any leads from that.
Finally, for me, where those see your guys' investigation go?
At this point, we're still hoping that the public can. My hope is that the public can give us some information as to, again, the whereabouts of that vehicle before, as well as if there's any high-end watches that they come in contact with. Because at some point, whoever is involved is going to have to try and sell these watches. And we're hoping that the public, some keen public or member of the public is able to identify that this might be an offer that's too good to be true and contact the police.
Are these suspects, I know you don't have a lot on them, but are they being linked to any other incidents that are unsolved?
At this point, again, we have nothing other than the dark figures from CCTV. We are aware of all the other crimes that have happened as far as Lower Mainland. I know there were some, and as far as in Calgary as well, the different break-and-enters. So we are looking into this, but at this point, there's nothing that can corroborate our offenders to any other offenses in Calgary.
And when you just, in regards to some of the forensics, is there still stuff that could come back that could be quite key in this investigation? Like, I don't know, a fingerprint or DNA? I mean, is that still possible?
There is definitely still possible, yes. It takes quite a while, obviously, to process the forensic exhibits and determine if there's anything that was on them that can be useful in our case. So once that's comes back from our forensic crime scene unit, I'm hoping that it would help us out in this and develop the suspect, but at this point, I haven't been made aware of anything from them yet.
Good. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sir?